Welcome to all of the WBA members. My name is Rose Oswald Poels. I'm President and CEO of the Wisconsin Bankers Association. And June 1st marks the start of our new fiscal year, which means a transition with our board of directors. We just had our installation ceremony and board meeting today, first one of the fiscal year. And so with me today is Paul Northway, who is President and CEO of American National Bank in Fox Cities up in the Appleton area, and he is also the board chair for the 2025-2026 fiscal year for WBA. So Paul, welcome. Congratulations on being selected by your peers as board chair. I know you know a lot of bankers from around the state, but for the video purposes, tell us a little bit about who is Paul Northway.
You bet. Thanks, Rose. First of all, I'm excited. 130 plus years of the trade association. Humbling to have a spot in that roster of banking legends that have come before me. I grew up in Northeast Wisconsin. I've never left Northeast Wisconsin. So grew up in De Pere and went to college at UW Green Bay and also went on after that to UW Oshkosh. And I've always worked for a community bank. The banks I've worked for have all been headquartered in Northeast Wisconsin, so this really brings me full circle. I'm incredibly passionate about our industry, especially those banks that have had a big impact in Wisconsin. My wife Kristen and I have been married 31 years this October, and we've got two young men, Andrew and Aaron, that are turning 26 and 24, so a little bit about me.
Very exciting. Yeah. Well, in all good community banks that you've worked at throughout your career, and obviously including the one that you're running right now. So what do you see as some of the priorities for WBA during your year as chair?
I think building upon the momentum that we have, I look at the recent Capitol Day event with over 300 attendees, and I think that's just the start. So I just want to accelerate the engagement that we have with our members across a lot of things. I mean, I'm sure we're having record attendance at the Bolt series, the Bolt Summit.
Right.
So let's just keep that going. The momentum of our engagement with our members, advocacy is certainly one of them, both on attendance and giving. We have a $300,000 budget this year goal for giving. For advocacy purposes, and we pretty close to that last year. We set a record at $270,000. And it's not just about numbers. The hard reality is it takes these resources to get our message out in front of politicians.
Right.
And so I am going to ask my counterparts across the industry in Wisconsin to work a little harder this year at attending and financially supporting our advocacy efforts.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And to borrow your official theme of relevance here, the banking industry isn't relevant in the advocacy space if we don't show up, if we aren't engaging with elected leaders, and if we aren't contributing and helping to make sure bankers or people that support the banking industry get elected to office.
We have to tell our story. If we don't tell it, somebody else is going to.
Right.
Their version isn't true.
Right. Yeah.
So absolutely, our relevance depends on it.
Yeah, for sure. Last question for you. What do you see as really the greatest strengths of the banking community across the state?
I think across our state, experienced bankers, passionate bankers, and by passionate I mean people that they care about their community. They care about their teams, they care about their clients, and they're the kind of people that you can trust. And we've shown this time and time again. COVID and the aftermath of the pandemic, and the way banks responded, rallied around delivering PPP loans.
Right.
Just one example of banking doesn't create problems. Banking tends to solve problems, and it's because of the people we have. What do we have? 170 roughly banks chartered in Wisconsin. How many employees? How many
Nearly 30,000
30,000
people across all banks here in the state. Yeah.
So think about that impact day in and day out. 30,000 passionate, trusted bankers that are serving all these communities in Wisconsin. And I think that's it. At the end of the day, I think that's one of our biggest strengths.
Yeah, I agree. I think bankers are incredibly integral to their local community's strength and growth and development for sure. So, well, we are excited to work with you as board chair, and certainly continue to work with your team at the bank as well, and all of the banks across the state. So thank you so much for being willing to share a little bit about yourself here for the membership, but also thank you so much for your leadership, and I'm excited to work alongside you this coming year.
Me too. Thank you, Rose.
Yeah.